without hope or sense of direction. But today, the Gambia has become a beacon of hope, a pride of Africa, and source of inspiration, thanks to the 1994 revolution that was led and ushered by gallant men of the Gambia, championed by His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Ya Ejeje Jammeh, when he was just a lieutenant in the army. As said by Martin Luther King, an American civil rights activist, in one of his speeches in Washington, he said, I quote, "The arm of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." Similarly, E.B. White, a renowned political scientist, also said in his speech that democracy is the current suspicion that more than half of the people are right more than half of the time. This means that today's event is very important, and it has been justified by all Gambians and all the people in the world over that 1994 revolution came at a good time when Gambians need that. Having said that, I now have the singular honor and privilege to read His Excellency's speech as follows. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbi Alamina. Alhamdulillah Rabbi Alamina. Alhamdulillah Rabbi Alamina. Fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia, I greet you with the most noble salutation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On the important occasion of the 49th anniversary of our independence, I salute and commend you for the journey we have all been making to usher in a modern, prosperous, and dignified independent motherland for the past 49 years, and even more significantly, with the assumption of a more profound meaning of our independence as a sovereign nation during the last 20 years, from July 22nd, 1994. We continue our march for greater prosperity, progress, and independence as a proud and dignified nation, and taking charge of our destiny with the Almighty Allah as our only master, to whom alone we bow down in worship. Our independence was achieved through the hard work of patriotic, independence-minded citizens, but that independence was a sham, as Gambia's leadership then plunged our country deeper into the complete hegemony of the British Empire, and therefore failed to bring about any significant socio-economic development. For a country that was once labeled as a hellhole on earth by a former US president during the height of massive looting of our resources by our merciless colonial masters, we should definitely be proud of ourselves, considering the rapid development we have achieved so far during the past 20 years. That is, from July 1994 to date, when we became truly independent from the exploitative hegemony of the ungrateful kingdom of our former colonial masters. Fellow Gambians, friends of the Gambia, distinguished men and women, I can assure you that the developments achieved under my leadership will continue to make us all proud. My philosophy is that independence should have a practical meaning, and in my words and deeds, the Gambia will continue to stand tall among the world's nations as a dignified, proud country, making sustainable progress based on self-reliance and always putting our own destiny in the care of the Supreme Master, the one and only Almighty Allah. As we celebrate yet another independence anniversary in peace and harmony, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His rich blessings, and also all citizens to continue to jealously guard and protect the peace and stability of the Gambia. On the eve of this year's independence anniversary, The Economist magazine has ranked the Gambia among the most stable countries in the world, and such a feat must never be taken for granted, but should propel all of us to stand firm in unity to safeguard and preserve it for posterity. With the Almighty Allah on our side, we can always achieve higher heights. Fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia, my country places a high premium on national security, and this sacred national interest will never be sacrificed on the altar of satanic and ungodly international standards that continue to promote the evil agenda of the world powers that are today playing God to Africa and the third world. Our democracy will be built on and sustained by our religious beliefs and cultural values. And as I declared for a team during the last year 22nd anniversary, July 22nd anniversary, we will continue to live according to our religion. Therefore, the coercive and dictatorial pressures by some foreign powers aimed at imposing on us their ungodly and decadent cultures like homosexuality and unbridled freedoms that endanger the peace and welfare of the majority will never be accepted in this country. These dangerous and irresponsible freedoms by these satanic forces would one day lead to brothers marrying their biological sisters, and fathers marrying their own daughters, and mothers marrying their own sons. Such an evil world they are preparing for mankind cannot be accepted by we Allah-worshipping Muslims and Christians the world over, more so Africans, especially Gambians. Fellow Gambians, friends of the Gambia, distinguished men and women, independence, development, peace and stability cannot be attained and sustained without a price. Every citizen should be willing to pay with his or her sweat at the least for rapid socio-economic development and peace. At the most, every citizen should be willing to pay with his or her blood and tears to maintain our independence. Freedom, security, and permanent stability in a country where all Allah-fearing Muslims and Christians can worship our Creator and Master with absolute peace of mind and soul. I call on every Gambian to take greater personal responsibility for the socio-economic development, stability, security, and independence, and in a nutshell, the well-being of our motherland, the Gambia. We should not rely on the state for a disproportionate share of our welfare. Rather, we must endeavor and be bold enough to take full control and responsibility for our own socio-economic advancement and that of our country. It is only in this spirit of living by one's sweat and contributing to our country's development that we as a nation, working together with only the Almighty as our master and our religion as our way of life and governance, that we will turn this great country into the economic superpower that we yearn for in a shorter period of time than anticipated. My government continues its program of socio-economic development with religion and our religious value system as the cornerstone for national psychological emancipation and liberation from the circles of neo-colonialism in all its shapes and colors. In my country's drive to provide education for all Gambians, religious education will be further buttressed and strengthened from the primary, secondary, and to tertiary education. It is only when religion and faith in Allah only is established in the heart of every Gambian.